Hello guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you've never seen my face before, I am Taylor. I am 20 years old and I make health and fitness lifestyle content on basically every platform: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I have a podcast. You can add me on Snapchat. You will not be short of content, and I post new videos on YouTube once a week, Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. But I guess it'll actually be switching to Central time because I'm moving to Austin, Texas in a week. That's nuts. So today I thought I'd do a little sit down video for you guys because, you know, I've been vlogging and doing all that and I wanted to come back and just sit down. I'm going to talk to you guys today about 10 things that are killing your gains in the gym. Like, if you're not seeing your muscles growing, I got you. Some of these might seem pretty self-explanatory, but a lot of people are probably doing them. But without further ado, let's get into the video. By the way, these are in no particular order. None of them are really causing more damage than the other. It obviously depends on which ones you do and do the most frequently and other factors in your lifestyle. So yeah, these are in no particular order. I'm just gonna list off all 10. I wrote them all down in my notebook. Came prepared. Number 1 is gonna be not training hard enough in the gym. 9, 10, easy. I think a lot of people go to the gym, I feel like I see it with my own eyes, and you can tell who's giving it their max effort and who isn't. You can tell who's just going there to go through the motions, socialize, and who isn't. And it'll make a huge difference in your gains. So there's a few ways you can measure the intensity of your training. This and the calories burned isn't going to be your best option. Soreness isn't going to be your best option. Sweat isn't going to be your best option. A few ways you can measure the intensity of your training are percentage of your 1 rep max, meaning when you're doing your compound lifts, you should do the lift as a percentage. So for example, 10 reps at 60%. Online, there's like reps 2% calculators. I highly recommend you looking at one of those. I just threw that number out of the top of my head. Let's say your max lift is 100 pounds. If you're doing 10 reps at 60%, you'll be doing 10 reps at 60 pounds, and so on for whatever your 1 rep max is. This is a good way to gauge intensity and progressively overload, because if that percent, you get it to 75 pounds, that also means that your 1 rep max has increased. Another way to measure intensity is reps in reserve. So you might see this abbreviated as RIR. That means how many reps you can do after you finish your set. So if you say 4 sets of 10, those last 8 to 10 should be pretty much your max. You shouldn't be able to do more than 2 after you finish. If you finished every set with like 10 reps left in the tank, you're not training hard enough. And the last is RPE. This one, me personally, I feel like this is hard to gauge because it's very personal. It's just you rating on a scale of 1 to 10 how hard you feel that lift or workout was, you know. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think this lift was a 6 in terms of max energy, so 10 being my all-out effort, 1 being not hard at all. That's going to be different from person to person, and you have to really know your body to accurately give a number for that one. Number 2, we're going to step away from the gym and look at nutrition, because obviously nutrition all in all is going to kill your gains if you're not focused on it. But this mistake I see a lot is skipping out on the carbs. This is way too many carbs. I'm having a protein shake. Everyone is very protein, and yes, protein is very important for building your muscles, but carbs have their place as well. Not only is eating a decent amount of carbs, like a lot of carbs if you're trying to put on muscle and you're weight training often. I eat like almost 300 carbs a day. This is not only going to give you energy, you need energy to go work out. Hello, carbs are going to be your main source of energy. That's sugar. It's not going to make you fat, it's going to give you energy. But 2, they're actually going to fill your glycogen stores and give your muscles that size, that full appearance. They're not a bad thing. If you feel like you're not gaining the size you want to, you need carbs, especially my girls going after those glute gains. If you're downing protein shakes every day, add in some carbs. I even get clients sometimes who I feel like their protein intake is so high. It's like 200 grams of protein a day and like 0 carbs, 0 fat. No, girls, you need carbs too, not just protein. Also, the lighting keeps changing. I'm using the sun as a light, so I guess that's what happens when you rely on the sun. Sorry about that. But stop skipping carbs. You're gonna just flatten out your muscles. Number 3 is not sleeping. Oh my god, I only got like 3 hours of sleep last night. Oh, well, cheers. Let's go work out. If you're going to bed at 2 a.m. and waking up at 6 a.m. every day, you are going to be hurting your gains. Now, why is this? One, your recovery, your muscle growth, the actual repairment of the muscle fibers that you broke in the gym, which is what causes increase in size in your muscles, happens when you're sleeping. So if you're not sleeping, that kind of sucks. And you're not getting the most out of that recovery. Two, you're gonna increase your cortisol, increase your stress. And when your stress and your cortisol are up, it's just not good for your body. It's not gonna run at its best. It's gonna hold on to body fat. It's just, everything bad happens when your cortisol and like stress is too high, everything bad. So that's basically the summary. So if you're not sleeping, your body's just not repairing its muscles, recovering or functioning at its best, which is most definitely killing your gains. And besides that, sleep is gonna give you energy to actually put effort into your lift. You don't wanna be walking around the gym like a zombie. And to my energy drink lovers and pre-workout lovers like myself, you should be able to function without one. The hard truth, but you should. Number 4, we're actually gonna take it back into the gym this time, back to our actual workouts, and it is going to be doing cardio first. If you do intense cardio pre-lift, basically what you're doing is exhausting all your energy that could have been put toward the lift. So instead of doing the cardio after, which would be way more beneficial because you're depleting your glycogen stores in your lift, using all the sugar, the glucose, the carbs, you're using all that up in your lift, and then you're going into the cardio, which would help burn body fat. You're doing it first, meaning you're using up all that glycogen stores, and then you're using so much energy that your body might even resort to using up lean mass for energy, which is totally counterproductive. If you are trying to make gains, you need to be putting your maximum effort into the lift, not the cardio. The only person that should be doing cardio first is someone whose goals are strictly endurance-based. The only thing I like to do before a lifting session is a 10-minute really light walk just to warm up. No incline, no nothing. Now, along with that, these two things kind of follow the same idea. Number 5 is going to be lifting on an empty stomach. Get breakfast before we go lift. I thought everyone knows you burn way more fat working out on an empty stomach. I feel like working out on an empty stomach got really popular for saying that you'll burn more fat if you lift on an empty stomach, which just, you could have probably done more weight, more reps, all of the above. If you ate something, you can work out for longer, meaning build more muscle. And you might resort again to your body trying to use up its lean mass to work out because you're not feeding it enough. Eating something filled with carbohydrates, protein, and a little bit of fat if you're eating it a while before to slowly release those carbs and absorb those vitamins is going to be key pre-workout to give you energy you need to do a full lift to your maximum potential. You do not need to be starving in a workout to see results. In fact, you'll probably hinder your results. Number 6 on my list is alcohol. So for my 21 and up people, obviously everything in moderation, but drinking too much alcohol will in fact hinder muscle growth, and it will be a sacrifice you have to make, which I know sucks because no one wants to like give up anything, but there's actually proof to back this up that alcohol just isn't good for you. Like, alcohol is not good for you at all. So when you're like putting your brain not in its best shape, you're literally like chemically like rewiring your brain when you like get drunk and drink. You're not going to be recovering well, you're not going to be repairing muscle as well, you're going to make bad decisions, especially when it comes to food and calories. And alcohol in itself is like empty calories, so you'll probably be overeating when you drink, which will throw off like your body composition. But like I said, the way alcohol literally will just hinder your recovery a lot. Probably sleep less because you're out late. Alcohol also is going to dehydrate you, and we all know hydration is just, your body needs freaking water, your muscle needs freaking water. No one's new to hearing that water is good for you. So all these things pile up when it comes to drinking, and it's not going to make your body perform at its best. If you're drinking like more than once a week on your fitness journey and you're not seeing results, that's something I would really recommend looking into. Number 7 is something I'm definitely guilty of because sometimes I just can't make up my mind, and I think a lot of girls do this with like, oh, do I want to bulk to get a butt or do I want to cut to get abs? No, babe, like I really think I'm just gonna bulk. Like, I'm really happy with my leg gains, but I just want my butt to be bigger. Like, I saw this girl on Instagram say she eats like 3,000 calories to grow her glutes, so I think I'm just gonna like jump to there, see what happens. Okay, actually, babe, okay, like I think I'm like kind of getting a little too bulky, and we have this vacation soon, so I heard you could just do like 12,000 calories and like 330 every day for a week and you'll slim down. So I think I'm just gonna like do that. And that's really messing up your gains, because if you're not focused on a goal for a set amount of time and putting the effort that the goal needs for that set amount of time, you're just gonna like confuse yourself and not make any real progress. If you go 1 week into a cut and then you're like, oh, I'm losing my leg gains, actually I'm gonna like stop my cut, and then you're like, oh, actually what I ate, I feel like I need to lose weight, so I'm gonna cut again. You need to pick a goal and stick with it. This also applies to exercise goals. So if I say I really want to work on my squat, I'm really gonna work on my squat, I'm gonna really dedicate progressive overload to my squat strength. And then a week in, I'm like, actually, I really want to work on my deadlift. And then I kind of get sick of it, and I'm like, actually, back to squat. Actually, bench. You're not going to make progress because you're shifting your focus literally freaking everywhere. You need to set a goal and stick to it. If you want to focus on strength and bulk, if you have serious goals, you need to stick to it and see the whole process out, because it might not be easy from the beginning, but you need to see the whole process from start to finish. You're screwing yourself over by going back and forth. Your body is like, what the hell is going on? One day we were on a cut, one day we're on a bulk. Like, what are you trying to do? A slow and steady journey is key, and the reason you might be jumping back and forth is because you're doing it too drastic. You probably cut way too much and you're like, actually I'm starving, I want to bulk, and then you bulk and you eat way too much and you gain way too much body fat. So a slow and steady journey is going to be best. Also, if you're just starting in the gym and you are focusing too much on goals like that, like cutting and bulking, and you're like indecisive, I highly recommend just eating at maintenance and letting the newbie gains show for themselves. Number 8, this kind of goes along with the alcohol one, but it just is a little bit more than that. It's the mentality that weekends don't matter.
Aren't you supposed to be like on a diet?
Yeah, but it's Saturday. And I'm not saying, again, that you can't like have fun or enjoy things or take time off, but if you eat clean and like work out good all week, Monday through Friday, and then Friday night to Sunday, you let it all go out the window. I'm talking lots of alcohol, overeating, no workouts, no walks, no care about your water intake, not sleeping. That's a lot of freaking days and a lot of time wasted, and you're literally setting yourself back so much. That means you're just gonna be bloated, holding on to water, not recovering the best from your whole good week. You're just not setting yourself up for success. Weekdays account for like 104 days of the whole year. 104 days. So in the moment, it might just seem like 2 days, but 100 days when you're trying to make progress, that's a lot. It's also gonna probably put in your mindset that like restrict binge mentality, when realistically, you should have healthy habits every single day. And if you want to eat something bad on a Tuesday, you can eat it. And if you want to eat healthy and clean on the weekends, you can also do that, because it's your lifestyle and your habits, and you don't need to dedicate 5 days a week to being so on top of it and restricting, and then 2 days a week to just going nuts. Saturdays and Sundays do count in your energy balance equation, calories in, calories out. That also applies on Saturday and Sunday. Your protein, carbohydrate, fat intake, balancing out your macros should also be important on Saturday, Sunday. Sleep on your rest days is so important. You're trying to recover, and being active every single day of the week is also important. Going for walks, moving your body, stretching, anything. 30 minutes of exercise a day is recommended. It doesn't have to be vigorous, but if you're literally just throwing all of your progress out the window on the weekends, you, sir or ma'am, are killing your gains. Number 9, you don't care at all about any type of injury prevention.
Aren't you gonna warm up?
No, you don't need to warm up, that's in there.
What happened?
I think I just pulled my... And I think a lot of us are guilty of this because we're impatient people, especially this generation. We want things and we want them quick. So if I go into the gym, I want to go and I want to pick up the barbell and I want to start my workout. But don't do that. Warm up. Not warming up. Oh, you're literally asking yourself to get injured. You need to be dynamically warming up, walk, dynamic stretch, do all the things, because you're going to injure yourself and then have to take time off, which is so... Why would you do that? You're literally going to have to take like a week off from hitting like the muscle group you want to grow and hinder all your progress because you got injured because you didn't take care of yourself. And you might not be lifting to your greatest potential because you're not warmed up. I can definitely feel how much easier it is to push heavy weight if I do a proper warm-up before my lift. And if I don't do that warm-up, it's just not going to be a good lift. You're going to be in pain. You might not be having the best mind-muscle connection. it's just not going to be good. So if you're not warming up, stop skipping it. You're not soft because you need to do a warm-up. You're not better than science. Please warm up. Please dynamic stretch. Don't static stretch. Static stretch is for after. You don't want to sit there and hold stretches. That's going to lengthen your muscle and weaken them. You just want to move, dynamic stretch, move your joints around, all that good stuff. Do not skip warm-up, and do not skip anything else that could be good for your routine and preventing injuries. And the last thing on my list, number 10, is not being realistic with your goals. F this, I'm getting pizza. The gains that you might have in your head that you want to get, if they're not realistic, if you're comparing yourself to like a bodybuilder that's literally on like steroids and not natural, and you get so frustrated and so hard on yourself and quit and give up and go through those cycles because you're comparing yourself and setting goals that aren't realistic, you're never going to be happy and you're never going to feel satisfied. If you can't have realistic goals to celebrate the small wins along the way, like, hey, my bicep is a little more defined, or hey, I think I'm growing in a pant size, you know, I think my legs are getting bigger. Even if for you that pant size is from a 00 to a 0 or like a 0 to a 2 like it was for me, just because I don't have like crazy glute gains because it's not in my personal genetics does not mean, because I don't look like so-and-so who has amazing glute genetics, that my little win is not as worthy of being celebrated and motivating me to do better, because little wins are what's going to keep you on your path. And if you get too frustrated with yourself, it's just going to be hard to enjoy the process. And if you're not enjoying the process of going to the gym, it sucks. You're not going to make good gains if you don't want to be there, if you don't want to go every morning, if you don't want to care about what you're eating. And if you're comparing yourself to an unrealistic goal, you're literally just going to get so frustrated and feel so down on yourself. And you might even think that your gains are being killed. Really, they're not, and you've made great gains and you've done everything right. They're just realistic and they're not photoshopped and they're not fake, they're real. And you can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. It's your first year in the gym and you're working out. You know, I don't look like girls that have been working out for 4 years because I haven't been working out for 4 years. You need to be realistic about the gains that you are going to see to continue on with what you're doing, because giving up is not the freaking answer, and going to the gym every day miserable because you're comparing yourself to people online that aren't even natural is not helping you. You don't want to go to the gym just to hate yourself. Sorry, that sounded dark, but I mean, it's true. Like, you need to like give yourself credit when credit is due. Because I think also not being realistic will also set yourself to go into everything I just said. You're gonna crash your nutrition because it's just not working, and you're gonna go into that binge restrict cycle and just binge on the weekends because you didn't even make the progress you want. And then you might be stressed, so you might not sleep, and the cortisol, and it's all gonna pile together. Your muscle building, strength building journey is you versus you. So that, my friends, is the 10 things I think are killing your gains the most in the gym. I hope you like this video. I like just sitting down and chatting with you and being a little like informative, giving you maybe a little tough love talk, because I think some of you need it and you deserve to treat your body the way that it wants to be treated, to be your best self, to be your strongest self, to reach the goals that you deserve to reach. So I will see you in my next video. Like I said in the beginning, podcast, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff, it'll be linked down below. Definitely give it a follow if you like my content, and make sure to subscribe if you like this video. I'd love to have you. We're really close to 30K, which is kind of nuts. 50K would be such a big goal, so maybe we can get there by the end of the year, 50K. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching to the end.